DreamHack Master Spring 2020 is here, and it is here to stay. Well, at least for the time being. We're going to have Navi taking on FaZe right here inside of our playoff bracket. Things have heated up to the point that it's boiled over even. The water is too damn hot. And now we've got to try to get ourselves out of it, or at least both of these teams do, as they look to move forward here within the brackets themselves. Welcome back, everybody. I've got with me Jacob, and I've got Matthew. We're ready to talk a little bit more Counter-Strike. And by that, we need to take a look at the brackets and paint a picture of how these teams got into the position and situation that they're in now. We know that G2 Esports are in the grand final, but tell me, how does this shape up in the lower bracket, Tim?
Well, the very first thing I noticed is the fact that the 4 teams making it to the upper bracket in the beginning are also the 4 teams left remaining in the tournament. You see G2, Navi, Big, and FaZe, well, they all made it all the way into the deciding games right here, right now. So the rest of the teams in the lower bracket, they kind of outplayed their role. That being said, though, Fnatic, they were starting to look all right. Couldn't get ahead. Mad Lions, they gave a fight against Fnatic. They won that game. Couldn't really do anything about Symbol yesterday. I think that was to be expected. NIP as well, a team that started in the lower bracket, won against Astralis, won against Vitality, and they potentially could have won against FaZe yesterday to make that lower bracket run. But I think it's fair to say, Maniac, that we got the 4 best teams in the playoff right now, and those are teams that deserve it, and those are the teams that consistently throughout the entire group stage and now also the playoff have been the better playing teams.
Absolutely. And I really like this lower bracket semi-final range where you can see Mad Lions and NIP just stopping at this. Obviously, they're progressing right now. It's a new breath for these lineup, but this is still the limit of what they can do. You know, it's a long process to make it to the top of the mountain, and they're not there quite yet.
Yeah, and somebody's got to be on top of that mountain. I don't know why for so many thousands of years we've been talking about somebody better be on top of the mountain up there. I mean, like, what if they just don't? You know, it's not like there's a lot of vegetation up there or anything. There's a lot of snow, a lot of ways to hurt yourself. But anyway, let's talk Navi FaZe. Let's talk lower bracket finals, and let's do it right here, right now. I want to center kind of around FaZe. We got a glimpse as to what Navi had to offer yesterday. So let's talk about where we find the FaZe clan.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of tough, I feel, to figure out what FaZe clan is right now. Bringing in BMS, that's another, there's a surprise. I think when you look outside, you think FaZe clan, they're a team that is supposed to be like the Real Madrid, the PSG of Counter-Strike, you know, the guys with a lot of money, the guys that you can just bring in the superstars and then try to brute forces their way through to make it work. But that's not the style they're going for at the moment. Last time they needed a player, they brought up Brokey, a young prospect. He's been doing okay without being, you know, stellar. Now bringing in BMS, it's sort of like the same tactic you're going for. You're getting the players young so you can sort of like mold them into the player you want them to be for the future. Whether or not that's a good thing, not too sure about it yet. I haven't been convinced by FaZe clan in a long time, and that's down to the fact that Nico is still in-game leading. But you can admit that they're starting to look somewhat decent, and yesterday against NIP, that was a great outlook, I think.
Yeah, and you know, before you jump into it here, Maniac, this is a totally different FaZe than we've seen kind of just stampede through tournaments like ESL 1 New York a few years back. You know, there has been such a transition from that iteration and that lethality of FaZe to what we have now.
I agree, definitely. I mean, the core is still here. Rain, Coldzera, Nico, they're still here, obviously. Brokey, new guy on the block, trying to find his mark, and I feel he's getting to that role slowly. Bimus, I have to say, really impressed me yesterday, because I had started off with a very bad first impression. He did a lot better, which is a great sign. But there is something that I want to point out in this game, which makes it so interesting. If you were to just consider rationally these two lines right now, you'd say Navi all the way. There's no discussion. They've been the better team. They're up there. Simple. You can name all the arguments you want. But my point is, I think this is a game in itself. This is a game on its own. Navi versus FaZe, it kind of defies logic. It defies reality. We heard Yanko say yesterday, yeah, we love to play against them. We love it. The matchup is great. It works for us. It motivates us. These are the games we want to play. So all the last times these teams have met have gone to 3 maps. Every single time. It's never a one-sided affair. It's always a battle. There's blood, there's tears, there's sweat. And if you want good Counter-Strike, this is where you find it.
Yeah, you want to talk about good Counter-Strike? Well, certainly there's a little bit of a spectacle every time any one of these players from FaZe join the server. I mean, you guys are talking about being impressed by Bemis. I want to say I've been impressed by Brokey a little bit. You know, he's had something to show for himself, and that he's been given time, too, to do so. And I think it's time, actually, that we hear from them, straight up. What's FaZe got to say?
Against NIP, we were ready for everything to do. We felt very good before the game and after the game as well. We won the easy Glock round, especially. I think the game went good as we expected.
The more Brokey can turn his attention back to Ivy. Rain, in the meantime, he's decided to shut down T-Con in it because it's not just the man advantage, but it's the bomb. And with 30 seconds left. Rain's gonna just pummel through the smoke.
Well, I saw Simple had an insane game today, so that always helps. But other than that, we really like the matchup, not in a sense of, oh, we think we're much better than them, just like, I think it's been a really good matchup every time we played. It's been like, the games have been really fun, really close, really intense.
And you're back just in time to watch the sheep be led to slaughter.
Wow.
It is easy for FaZe Clan.
I think that's why we're all like doing this for games like that, and so I think we're just looking forward to that duel, so to speak. I think it's a sort of a healthy rivalry that we have right now, so yeah, looking forward to that game.
I'm a big Yanko fan, and moreover, I'm a big fan of what he's done and been able to accomplish within having this lineup underneath his control, underneath his watch. It's been a pretty interesting career for Yanko, so if you're interested in learning more about that coach, make sure you head over there and check him out. He's had quite the run of things, and when I say that, I mean he's just about dabbled in it all. So let's move a little bit further. Let's move past that and talk about the team and player that everybody else in the entire planet's talking about. Navi. We're talking about Simple. We're talking about what they showed us yesterday, or better yet, what Simple had to show. Electronic also. Let's not, let's give some credit where it's due. But Simple was the man that was putting up the numbers.
Yeah, sure he was, and that's going to be the same case today, most likely. Simple is always going to be the go-to guy when you want Navi to play well. That being said, though, when you're facing a team of the caliber of FaZe, when there's that many strong individual players on the server, Simple is not going to be enough. I don't think Simple is going to be able to pull off plus 30 frags over the course of 3 maps and carry the entirety of Navi over the finish line. You need the likes of Electronic. You need the likes of Flaming to step it up a bit. You need Perfecto to come in and be not necessarily a threater, but more in terms of like closing out the rounds, being the Harvey Specter sort of Counter-Strike and make sure that they win out the clutches. So Navi is a lineup that I think they have a lot of options, outside of Simple. Question is, can they make it work when Simple is taking that much focus, right? We need to see more Perfecto. We need to see more of Electronic, and we need to see Flamey step it up because he's been having a rough period.
Yes, Maniac, and that's where I want to pick it up with you. I'm looking at this lineup, and I'm looking at Flamey as someone who used to have such a spark. And I'm not saying that with any pun intended, but this guy, Flamey, he has what it takes in the server. We've seen it. Where's he at?
Yeah, we've seen it, and you're right. It's been a while since we've seen Flamey just take over games and absolutely dominate people. We talked about records at the beginning of this show where Flamey had one. Remember that major game? He had like 30-something kills on Mirage, absolutely taking over. He used to be capable of that. Now, I'm not exactly sure whether he cannot do it anymore or whether the system doesn't really allow it to do that. I think the reality is probably somewhere in between. But I think it's just funny that now our conversation about Navi has become what conditions, or rather in which conditions can they win if Simple doesn't show up. This is how insane this guy is. We try and understand, okay, what should we do if Simple isn't Simple? And that has been the conversation with Navi for the longest time. Blade is a part of that answer, obviously coming in, offering his guidance, creating a structure, a game plan. Perfecto is one, obviously, that has a big role to do as the new rookie. Boomish, obviously, has an IGL. All of these, we're actually talking about how can they win if Simple doesn't show, which is why you should never discard them, because 85, 90% of the time, he shows up.
Yeah, but he, and the truth is he is not 85 to 90% of this team, no matter what the, not statistics, but no matter what the billboards will tell you to believe about Navi. There's so much more going on here within this camp, and I am dying to learn a little more.
More difficult. Right attacking Brazilian still in the sight, fighting through the nail, missed shot to Brazilian.
I think Mad Lions are playing well now, but we play better, and Simple on first map, it's just king on this map, and we win.
Exactly what they maybe, I don't want to say they're going to underestimate Mad Lions, and that would be a mistake, but maybe not be ready for some of the ideas of this entire map here on his own, and a no-scope headshot with a follow-up.
Past week we just train overpass, and we just have good movement on this map, and it's easy for us, He just push monster, or we just read this and win.
This play a million times before. They've already rotated down to this B bomb site. They've kept the stack here while all this has gone on. Perfecto is the pistol king of Navi as well. It feels like every pistol round he's here putting up multi-kills, and this one is no different. 3 kills from him.
So we play FaZe, I think it's maybe 1 week ago, and we know he play good, but we just watch other demo and try prepare good for him. FaZe, are you ready for us?
And I'm not ready for that loaf of bread that was in the background there of that video not being kind of tied up and closed. I I just don't even know if I could continue the show on that notion if I didn't know the vetoes were coming up sooner rather than later. Now for Navi, though, for FaZe Clan, these two teams having to battle it out right here within the confines of the lower bracket, that sure does make things a little bit spicy because, again, that would mean this is an elimination game.
It is.
Yeah.
You lose it, you're out. So there's no chance, no joker anymore, no bonus card, no getting out of jail card, anything. If you lose, bye-bye, adios, that's over.
And let's not forget to put on the storyline as well that Navi currently is ranked #1 in the world as per the official HLTV ratings. If they bow out here and G2 ends up winning this tournament, not exactly sure how the whole point system works, right? But that could be a case where Navi is going to lose that spot as the #1 team. So there's a lot of stake here. Not only making it, of course, to the final of this tournament or going up against Big Clan in the deciding game before the grand final, but also maintaining this spot as right now, since Astralis is just nowhere to be found, the best team in the world.
Well, let's talk about the best vetoes in the world.
Best vetoes in the world.
Let's see if that's what we got out of that one, because I'm real curious. Sometimes we get some real whompers out there, but at least for us, we know that there's going to be 3 maps here. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but I do want to talk a little bit about what to expect when we look at the 3 maps that these teams have in common.
Well, Jacob, I want to pick your brain on it because my opinion is that both teams should actually float Vertigo. I'd be sad to see either of these teams veto Vertigo as the first ban wave. I think there are other more interesting bans to be put. For example, if you're Navi, you might want to push Mirage out of the cards because FaZe have been picking it very frequently, I want to say, a little bit less than 40%. It's a very big comfort zone for them. And if you FaZe, the same question applies. Do you allow Navi to go for Overpass? It has been one of their pick in the past. It's clearly not a comfort zone for you. So in terms of ban, I'd like to see teams take more risks. Don't go for Vertigo float.
I like the thinking, and I agree with you. You could potentially float Vertigo. I just think that for Navi, right, it's where do we ban instead? Because Mirage, you're right, that has been a comfort pick for FaZe Clan, but we also saw yesterday that Mirage is a map that with BMS, they looked absolutely terrible at against NIP. So I'm not really sure where Navi can go with the bans and picks. And I think if you're Navi in this position, you want to play it safe. Like, you don't want to risk going up against Vertigo against FaZe Clan, because I think they have been putting in some work. They've been pulling it out, once here and there. And obviously they probably haven't practiced it with BMS, but they can still play the map at a relatively decent level. So it's going to be a great question to see if they're willing to float it. But Navi, I expect them to go safe, because why would they not?
Well, if I'm looking at other maps that Navi could potentially ban out, and I'm thinking Inferno is one of those that they probably have taken a hard look at, and they're like, maybe we don't want to play that towards
what
the
makes
end
you say
of
that,
the video.
Chris?
What makes me say that is that it's all painted out right here in front of me. Perhaps we can even start rolling out the vetoes. Now would be the time before we all look like jokers up here. So let's run it. Let's see what we've got, and let's determine what maps that we have on hand. Mirage is going to be the first, Dust 2 the second, and then Nuke the third. Now, that would have been the Inferno ban as called, and I don't want to say predicted, because obviously I just read it off the piece of paper in front of me. But there you have it, Jacob. How do you feel? Do you feel satisfied with this veto?
Yes, I do. Navi didn't take the risk, and I like Maniac posed the question, because they could have taken the risk of letting Vertigo float, because FaZe Clan wouldn't have picked it. I don't think so. So it could have been, Inferno going out of the window, but Navi playing it safe as expected. FaZe Clan picking Mirage, Maniac, after what we saw yesterday against NIP. Maybe that was a day off. Maybe they just weren't feeling comfortable, but that didn't look good at all.
No, it didn't look good. I agree with you. Now, I can flip over the conversation and say, Navi picking Dust 2?
They've been doing that for ages.
Sure about that?
For ages.
I know, but listen, we've been talking about the Dust 2 pick. I don't want to roll that dice. We know, we've talked the ins and the outs. It's just against FaZe. That's the part of the conversation that kind of makes me a little bit icky down my throat, or whatever it is. I don't know where it should be icky. Well, I don't know why they would pick Dust 2 against FaZe. That to me is a big question mark. Nuke on a third map. If you FaZe again, you must feel somewhat confident. I don't exactly know how FaZe got off with such a good veto, considering that the map pool of Navi is that much better. I think FaZe completely robbed the bank in that.
100% agree. 100% agree. FaZe Clan got the best 3 maps they could have gotten here.
Yeah, and we're seeing Mirage, Dust 2, and Nuke. Now, should we go all the way? Do you guys still feel like this one is the full punch of a series that we were kind of promised, or even promising, moreover, to the viewer at home? Do we think we're going to get 3 maps out of this?
Yes, and the main reason is that neither of these teams right now are consistently enough playing at a high level that we can expect them to 2-0 each other. I think we'll get to see some great Counter-Strike, we'll get to see some close Counter-Strike, and especially considering the maps. Mirage yesterday, you saw Symbol, what he can do on a map like that. We know Nico, potentially the best entry fragger in the world on a map like Mirage. There's so much skill on the server that no matter what, this is going to be close, it's going to be intense, and I expect a 3 map as well.
Well, Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say that the deciding factor is going to be the old guard of FaZe. I think the Rain, the Coldzera, and the Nikas of this world, they will decide if we go to 3 maps or not. If they don't show up in spades, if they don't have their massive performance, Navi could completely destroy FaZe. So it's going to be up to them.
Yeah, and I think in this moment, we look at the Betway odds. They're kind of giving us an interesting number line there to look off of. I don't even know that it's that clear-cut and concise. We're going to go to a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to put a bow on this one in the form of predictions by these two and myself, I suppose. Then we're going to jump right into the game with Harry and Hugo. So don't move a muscle. Don't feel like you need to change anything up, because it seems as though if you can hear my voice, everything is just fine. We'll be right back, everybody.
Welcome back to DreamHack Masters Spring 2020. We have our first game of the day just around the corner. It's Navi FaZe, and joining me is Harry. I don't know where you are, Harry. You want to give me a little, did you grind for this view? Explain to me. What are you doing there?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I've been grinding. I got up real early today to go and chop down some oak. That's how I built these little. Oh wait, that's the wrong side because I'm mirroring the webcam. So like these little fence posts that you'll see that are like somewhere over here, and I can't put my hand in the right place. I had to build these myself. That's the joke, right? Like it's in Minecraft. It was me, maybe. I don't know. Like whatever you want to believe, Hugo, I'll let you believe it. I'm not going to challenge that. What I am going to challenge you on is your prediction for FaZe Navi. I want to know who you got in this series, Hugo. I want to engage in a debate with you.
Oh, okay. I think we're going to agree, though. That's the thing. I don't actually know where you're standing. I'm going the way of Navi for this one, right? Like FaZe, they've looked good. Right. I think they've grinded their way through the tournament.
Terrible debate. Honestly.
Okay, well, let's agree to agree, Harry. How about that instead? I think Navi look really, really good, right? Yesterday was a great test for them against Mad Lions, like an upcoming Danish team, the only Danish team left in this tournament. And Navi just makes such quick work with them. Simple 38-7 in the first map. He just looked lights out. And I don't know if FaZe are going to be able to stop that, especially not with another new addition to this team, a young gun that, he looks good. BMAS certainly looks good, but he is inexperienced on this level. And we see that in some of the matches that FaZe play, right? When they which is the game BMAS really struggled in, the one before the NIP game, which was FaZe losing to Big, getting knocked down to the lower bracket. BMAS had a really rough BO3 there, so hopefully he can step up against Navi, but I don't know.
Yeah, and that for me has like been one of the challenging things about looking at this FaZe squad is like a contender for right now. I think that they're still going through like a very big time of change over there, having to slot BMAS in, right? And that's not an easy task. And it's not like he's on like some comparable level to your Reigns and your Colds, where you know what you're getting. He knows what he's doing just as well as you know what you're getting out of him. I think there's a lot of exploration that still has to be done with BMAS as a player to find exactly where he's comfortable. I mean, even if you think about how when Brokey first joined this squad, right, he was originally in Olaf's role. He was the guy lurking. He was the guy, like apart from the rest of the team. And then slowly but surely they moved him over onto this AWP role. It started over on the CT sides, and then it bled into just being an all-round, him picking up the AWP. And now it feels like we're getting the most out of Brokey. It feels like we're getting a lot more out of him than when he was in that lurking role. And I think for BMAS, he's probably going to go through a similar kind of period of transition where for every map you figure out, okay, right, so where do we get the best out of this guy while not really having to compromise too heavily and lower the performance of someone like Nico or Cold. So yeah, I think, for FaZe, it's a real time for them to be figuring stuff out. That said, they've done very well thus far, right? They've been looking good. And I do think, as well as that, like with these kind of lesser experienced players, it very much just depends on how they show up on the day and how they're feeling.
Yeah, and to jump on that point, actually, I think one thing that's really good for like these young players coming into FaZe, as FaZe is as a team, the maps they play is really, really good for like, maybe inexperienced players, right? Look at this pool today. Mirage, Dust, okay, Nuke at the end, but Mirage and Dust, FaZe love these flat maps. They love these puggy maps. And even though Navi are picking into maps that FaZe are also comfortable on, which, as said on our analyst desk, could be a bit of a problem for Navi in this series. I'd like to think that at the end of the day, it's Navi. They can show up against anyone, anywhere, anytime, any place. And, hopefully FaZe shouldn't be able to get in the way of that. That being said, if FaZe do, hey, I've not got a horse in the race. I'm only here for good Counter-Strike carry. So if FaZe want to take an upset victory and go on to the next stage, fight big for that grand final spot, hey, I'm all for it.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing, right? Like, even talking about a team like Big, I'd love watching them here at this event. Like, Big are a very interesting team to me. I think like the combination of a man like Searson with the AWP, mixed with now that like Tapson, it feels like he has some more firepower around him with Searson and Keto. I think that team looks very, very promising. I haven't even had to mention a guy like Zintares, but obviously he's there and he's incredible. We all know what he's capable of. He is the Turkish delight, right? And yeah, I mean, I think that next series that's going to be coming up between one of these teams versus Big is going to be a very exciting one as a result. But focusing on what we got here, right? The other reason why I'm looking at Navi with like quite a bit of promise for a change is that finally it feels like they're giving us the form that we wanted from them this year, because they really did drop off at first with this return to online play. Like it was noticeable as well. This duo of Simple and Electronic was something that it felt like we very, very rarely got to see stepping up at the same time in the server. Whereas the other day, Simple and Electronic delivered an incredible performance, and Simple actually beat his like personal record of a performance, or I think it was rating rather, in a series the other day. So yeah, he's doing great, and with Electronic starting to step up alongside him, I think Perfecto has had like some pretty big impact as well in a lot of these games. In particular, I want to say Perfecto and his pistol rounds have been like a thing of legends for Navi. It feels like every pistol round he gets 3 kills. So you know, just having someone like that that's starting to step up and starting to help you at securing these all-important rounds, I think is great. And it's good because it means that not all the pressure is on this duo of Simple and Electronic for a change. There are other players now starting to find their footing as well for Navi.
Yeah, that's like a big thing, right? For Perfecto, not only pistols, but we know he's so great at the clutches. I think similar to Brokey, there's a lot of parallels to be drawn there from a new player, or not a new player, but a relatively inexperienced player at the top level. And you know, for Brokey, for Perfecto, not only good pistol players, but really good clutches for their team. They constantly win these one-on-ones, having like 70% conversion on both of them, which is huge. So yeah, that only bodes well. We did have some ping issues. That's why we're having a bit of delayed start here, but we'll be getting in just under a minute now. So stick with us, ladies and gents. And yeah, I mean, this is the ultimate battle, Harry, in the lower bracket, right? Elimination on the line. The winner of this going on to take on Big for a spot in those grand finals. And like said earlier, these 4 teams left in the tournament are the teams that came through the top bracket as well. That's G2, Navi, FaZe, and Big. And they are all here to play. Navi and FaZe on Mirage. It's the first map of the series. It's a map pick of FaZe. And we're getting into the action.
Yes, we are indeed. And good news for everyone watching. You've all got front row seats. That's the beauty of online. You know, like we're all just sat here enjoying a nice game of Counter-Strike. And look who we got in the server. We got a bunch of legends on either side. It's going to be Nico and Brokey setting up utility to facilitate this B play. Perfecto, he gets that information, and this man, he knows that his pistol impact is normally through the roof, so he decides, I'm not going to stick around in the site, we're going to set up for a retake in this 5-on-5. And so the bomb plant comes in for FaZe. Perfecto's got himself a smoke and a kit, so this could prove to be pretty damn useful to Navi in this retake. Everyone's here now. Everyone's knocking on the door of the B-bomb site, but it seems like nobody's home. All the lights are off, but they can hear Nico mulling around in the kitchen. So, you know, there's definitely some signs of life here in the bomb site, and Navi are going to try and get on in. However, Rain and Brokey put down 2. Simple, fast on his feet, alongside Electronic. Oh, they're going to find 4 kills between the 2 of them. And Cold gets dropped as well. Defue's going to come on through for Navi. And already, Simple and Electronic off to a good start. That's a good sign for Navi fans all around the world.
Yeah, you don't often see 5v5 retake in the pistol in the B bomb site of this map, so Navi by design. I want to mention as well, Electronic and Boomage, it's looking for a second like a 5-man market rotation, and that would have been a mess for Navi. So Electronic and Boomage make the jump up cat from window, and if they miss that, that adds like another 5, maybe 6-7 seconds onto the clock in the favor of FaZe, and that bomb was very low as well. So big jumps hit by those 2 has sped up the retake for Navi, and now they're speeding up middle. Simple taking fights and taking names. Nico's been removed from the game, and Navi can just fall back with that advantage if they want. It's not like FaZe are pressuring them all too much. Well, these Google's going to take a bit of a peek, and Simple really continues that spray to the best of his ability. Does a lot of damage, and it's going to have to be finished off by his teammates. No problem to do so. And just 2 kills away from the anti-eco getting cleaned up.
Yeah, Brokey and his Deagle not going to be able to do anything here. Also, you know, we just have Brokey up top by the rubbish bin that's up there, or the garbage. I don't know. Depends where you're from, right?
Garbage.
But
Trash.
but yeah, let's have a moment of silence for that man. Oh,
Everyone.
R.I.P. to the dumpster boost.
I don't know if we didn't see it a lot, Harry, but it's something me and you we love to do. You drop that smoke.
You ever play Mirage against us? It won't happen because we never queue this garbage map. But
especially
if you
not
ever do,
yeah,
you would have seen us up there all the time. Now, Brokey, we're gonna see him up in a palace of his own making, but Simple decides that he's actually the fresh prince of this A bomb site, and he taps Brokey out of the round. That's even an AWP upgrade now that's up in the palace that Simple could look to get his hands on. And FaZe, they're going to set up with 3 players, the remaining 3 players outside of this B bomb site. But to get in, you got to get past Perfecto.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to be grabbing that AWP anytime soon. Navi will need to run back towards B to help their teammate. He is on an island, and he can't even put up a kill. BMAS with a crucial entry here for the side of FaZe. It's equal things up. It's set them up. And Simple's actually pushed Palace from CT to get the AWP. He's scoping Catwalk right now, but FaZe are still in the site together, grouped up, congregated, and waiting for Navi to come their way. And Navi certainly won't. They're waiting for the plant before they want to make a move. Try and figure out where FaZe are. Now they've got some info. Guaranteed 2 on the bomb site with that grenade going out and a boost up for Nico. This could catch players off guard, but that smoke in the doorway, that's where Nico's playing for, and it's been smoked off. They've got to take the window. Nico's position just got a whole lot better, and he can swing off the back of it, but Flamey's dealt with him and followed up. Flamey coming alive and leaving BMAS in a clutch in round number 3 against Navi. It's not easy. He's taken 2, but the wide swing gets traded, and Navi will get the retake. Nice work from them. FaZe do stall the plant. They try and play together, but a couple of missed shots and Flamey popping off will put Navi back in the lead.
Yeah, the loss bonus with the bomb plant at least means that FaZe, they could buy here if they want to, and well, they want to, so they're going to buy here. That's funny how that works, right? They get rifles out across the board, and they're going to have plenty of utility behind it as well. They're setting up over here towards A, and this might just be a nice little set piece into the A bomb site with Nico throwing his utility down into mid, but there's a gap in this smoke, and you can't afford to leave gaps when you've got Simple waiting on the other side. FaZe going to start to get out into this A bomb site, and they actually play at contact. They just rush on in. Now they throw these smokes late. And I like that decision. It never really telegraphs that this play's coming through. BMAS and Rain are able to get 2 kills between them. And Simple now back here in CT spawn with the AWP in the retake, looking for a kill. The flash rains on in. No kills found on the back of it, but they keep these players out of CT. And for Navi now, in a 3-on-4 like this, if a kill doesn't present itself soon, they might just be saving.
Yeah, they're going to give it a look in, though. The money is not good for Navi. So, yeah, actually just bailing, interestingly enough, not even going to send a player into the site. And they know that, even losing 1 dude here is going to cost them their buy round in the follow-up. So, yeah, too many teams in that situation will push in and will go for a kill, and they'll lose it, and then they'll save with 2. And, it makes sense as to why you want to give it a look in, give it a go. But at the end of the day, if you lose 1 player, you're not going to be able to buy. And so this is the right call. And I mean, even then, Simple, he can drop a gun, but no one else can, not an M4 at least. It's going to be Navi need to do some accounting as FaZe get their first T-side round. A nice contact A burst, but Navi are going to be ready for that. So FaZe, they've got to switch it up. They've got to go elsewhere here as Molotovs will be present.
So once again, FaZe is setting up outside of this B bomb site, but the difference maker this time around is that Electronic is over in the ladder room. He's available for a very, very fast rotate, and that's going to be needed with Flamey falling at the first hurdle. Electronic does get 1, and Boomich even bests Rain on this lurk in the connector. So this leaves Cold and Nico over at the B site. However, coldzera, we know this man at B site Mirage is able to get away with a hell of a lot, and this round is no different. He's got it down from a 1v2 into the 1v1, and just Boomich left to find. coldzera with the 3K locks down the round for FaZe, and coldzera at B, that's not something I like the sound of if I was on the FaZe side, or rather No, hang on. Navi's side.
I think FaZe like that very much.
FaZe like the sound of it.
Ooh, they like the sound, all right.
Ooh. My voice doesn't, apparently. Like, I'm physically trembling, Hugo.
Oh, well, Harry, that's what 80 broadcast days will do to you.
Oh,
Words
come
now,
on.
very difficult. Shots even harder, especially for Navi, who only have pistols. It's going to have to be a bit of armor on Perfecto, elsewhere, nothing else. And FaZe is just going to go back to A, right? Not so contact this time. Util will come through that close molly to clear out for Nico. If anything, stalls out his aggression, but he can go with a flashbang, blinding Boomich and getting that entry kill. Trades are good here for FaZe. They are losing a couple, which really shouldn't happen, but I think from this point on, they should be fine to clean up the round. Navi have nothing. They have no position. They're being forced back with utility. Finally, the smokes have faded, but that's only going to give ways for FaZe to fight you back.
Yeah, it's not gone well. But, you know, you weren't expecting much. It's mostly USPs in this round. Perfecto and his Deagle not able to offer anything up. It's Nico with 4.
What?
His first 4 in the game, all in that one round there, as he takes a third on the board for FaZe. Nico with a nice little stat pad round.
Good shots, though. And I mean, you know, they're not like super important kills, but that could have been lost by FaZe, absolutely, in the 3-on-3. That definitely could have gotten out of control. So Nico often just making sure that doesn't happen, keeping that anti-eco in FaZe's hand. It's often down to Rain, but, well, anyone could do it. And Navi, they're going to tend to it now with a buy. Orb out for Simple. He's fighting Connector. No one's seen him just yet, but they are trying to move through middle with that flashbang. Simple getting brutalized by the grenades. Down to 50. And they're close mid as well, so we can't see them from this position. He's going to back on out. Boomich is close towards the ramp, and he might need to watch out, because not only Cold in the flower pot. Oh, there's flashing. Cold's blind, and he gives away his position. If he didn't shoot, Boomich wouldn't check that spot. Might have gotten away. Now, that flash is good as well from Flamey. Electronic poised for a kill, and Navi, great team play right now. They forced 2 advantages with just $400 of flashbangs.
Yeah, one by one, they're just continuing to extend this as well. It's all left onto Brokey and Nico. And a 2-on-5. They're going to struggle to turn this one around, especially because Navi, look at what they've done. They've just retreated back into these bomb sites, and they're not in a position where they need to peek anything. Nico attempts the window jump, but fluffs it a little bit. He's going to give it another go, this time with Brokey flashing for him. Missed shot from Simple gets Nico into the window. But they know he's here, and so Nico is trapped in a cage of his own making. That Molotov is going to force Simple out of the window room. Brokey gets up Con in the meantime, and does delete Boomich. However, there's players wrapping around through short. Brokey is also trapped now in the connector. And Nico's been given a little bit of room to maneuver, but it's not really much to write home about. They spot him, they'll deal with him. Electronic takes down 4 in this round. And Navi, they'll put a 4th on the board.
Yeah, Nico does nothing there really, but it's super impressive how he gets out of that one, right? He gets into window, he gets spotted, he then throws a molly and jumps out of the window with that Molotov. He jumps to the left, avoiding Electronic and Simple looking at his position, and he doesn't jump out the window to the ground, he jumps to the ledge, allowing him to get back in the window a second later and come behind Navi. Of course, he doesn't do anything, but you know, he just stays alive for a good bit of time. And Electronic, 4 kills from him, right? Great work, just standing behind Simple wherever he goes with that orb and just supporting. So, FaZe now broke. Nothing. I like this boost. Oh, I don't like this boost. It's unfortunate. It's good for peeking window without like boosting inside of the window. You're just going for fights off that one. And Cold had a deagle, but had being the key word.
FaZe is just hoping to do some damage at this point, right? 2v5, they can't really win this round, but maybe they can deal with a player or two, and Simple is quite the man to deal with. That's an AWP dropped. Gonna give you a bit of a way to get into this A bomb site now, but Electronic is being very, very patient here at jungle, and Flamey comes in on the rotation. It gets mopped up. It's pretty cool that Simple dies over in CT for FaZe, because it means Navi weren't able to retrieve the AWP, so Simple's got to reinvest into that. I hope we see, you know, either Flamey or Perfecto drop it over, and they do. Flamey's going to buy the AWP, drop that over to Simple. He gets utility with it. So, you know, the money just gets kind of rejiggled around here for Navi, and everything's all fine. Reinvestment back in for FaZe, and the AWP going to be in the hands of Brokey. Lots of mid pressure here from the FaZe side, and a missed shot from Simple. With a player aggressive down through this short smoke, Simple is trapped and does get shut down by BMAS early on. Electronic's going to try and go through this smoke, and BMAS will deliver a second kill in the round. So he puts FaZe off to a flying start here. Attempted aggression from Boomich in an effort to just regain some map control. Further extends this advantage in favor of FaZe.
Yeah, we're going to need to see some switch-ups from Navi early. I think FaZe have just had the read here. Navi have run some very similar rounds in the past few, with Simple constantly going for that connector peek at the spawn. Boomich pushing ramp. He's been in that position pretty much every round this game. And Electronic going through the cat smoke. Well, not really to blame. We've not had a lot of mid-control from FaZe. He tries his hand at it and, yeah, gets punished. And at that point, it's just dug Navi a hole. It's going to be FaZe 5-on-2. Surely no way they can lose this, and they're taking the bomb to A as well. Navi have gambled B, so this will be them saving, or trying to save at least. FaZe, when the penny drops, when that realization hits, do they go for the hunt? Because it's not like FaZe have any money, it's not like FaZe have many rounds, and so they might just want to keep their economy alive as well. Give Navi the benefit of the doubt, but we'll see. Sending one player out, you know, unleashing the hound that is BMAS with 2 already. Not a bad idea by any means. Nico's going to go looking, BMAS goes under, and FaZe fan out to make sure they check everywhere. I think that's the right call for FaZe, right? Keeping 5 alive. You want your money. And you want something to fall back on, right? Because you know Navi are buying with those saves as well. So if they get this round win, FaZe, they actually have a buy in the follow-up. They actually have a chance to compete and not just roll over and die the second Navi start to string rounds together. A sole round from FaZe. Will anything be found around it?
I'm really liking that for Navi, we have like the duo of Simple and Electronic just feeling like they're back, you know, and that's a nice feeling. Back up that Perfecto point. 1.13 rating in pistol rounds with a 1.03 rating overall. Yeah, man, pistol rounds seem to be this guy's bread and butter. He's always great in them. Like yesterday, I think we saw him in Overpass. He got 2 triple kills in both the pistols. Before that on Mirage, I think he got 2 double kills. So like, yeah, he's just so comfortable in them. Now though, you know, these pistol stats are all well and good. It allows Navi to get off to these good starts. But FaZe are keeping this competitive, and this is exactly what we wanted from this series. We wanted a nice close affair, and that's what we're looking to get delivered here.
That molly just goes past the smoke as well, so FaZe, they can even smoke that molly again and make sure that Navi aren't running any one-ways in con. Try and take this mid-control. They seem a little bit preoccupied with it, a little scared of it perhaps. Another molly smoke combo, really just making sure it's clear. And I respect it from FaZe, right? You may as well use the util, you may as well get value out of it, and now you know that that area is yours. Flamey, does he know that Nico's crossed past the smoke? Oh, he does. He's got the shot off, and Navi can back off with an advantage again. They're so good at turtling when they get this kill. You can see Flamey's given up mid. He's playing for the apps cross with Perfecto. Boomich is still dangerously close on ramp, man. I think FaZe might be ready for this one. They've dealt with him a lot here before. He has gotten kills from this position, but yeah, and unless FaZe go through that smoke, that's what Boomich is hoping for, right? He wants to watch a smoke for a pop play and hope that FaZe consider the site and not the close corner. But once that smoke fades, he is going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Also, Hugo, while all this has gone on, BMAS threw some utility into the B bomb site.
What?
And Boomich going aggressive. He needed to get away with a lot there. And the fact that he gets that one kill, he spots the bomb as well. And tags Brokey down low. Simple's going to deal with Coldzera and Navi. For a moment, they almost made the wrong call. They almost rotated to B on the back of BMAS's utility going into the site. That's where Boomich, not just getting away with the kill, but spotting the bomb, just locks that round in for Navi. The rotation comes back through in time. They deal with Cold, and the moment that ends up falling to the 2-on-4, 2-on-3 rather, it just grinds to a halt for FaZe, and they can't even commit. So they save. They hold on to the AWP of Brokey. And BMAS is able to stay alive as well, so it at least gives them a buy into this round, a little bit more to work with on the back of keeping that AWP in play. But yeah, Navi are just being very frustrating right now. You use the word turtling. That's exactly what they're doing, right? They'll strike this first round off the tally, and then they just hide. They don't give anything up, and they're doing a great job at exactly that. Now, this mid control is something that FaZe have attempted a hell of a lot, and not really to the best of results. This round, they're going to go back to it. And Navi just aren't going to give them this fight.
Yeah, it makes sense as to why Navi lent B in the previous round after that util, right? Because FaZe haven't really gone for any B plays since the start of the map. So, yeah, Navi, they are hankering. They're waiting for that eventual commitment. They know it's coming at one point or another. FaZe, though, still pressuring connected towards A. The bomb is top mid, it can go anywhere, but they have a lurk in the palace in the form of Cold, trying to find his timing. Simple, he hit a mad shot on Cold last round coming out of palace with no jingle, no reaction, just the first peek, and he's going for it again, two from Simple. Is he ready for Cold? No. He's going to drop to that lurk, running through a smoke. FaZe have found themselves a man advantage and the A site.
Flamey and Perfecto. If they deal with BMAS, maybe they go for this, and they do find him. So now this 2-on-2 is given over. Flash out to allow Perfecto a bit of ground in through jungle. Nico's going for the long old rotate in towards mid. He is going around the world right now. And he does have this AWP as well. This gives a temporary 2v1 to Navi in this bomb site. But Cold, if he's able to just overstay his welcome, if he just stays alive, Nico's flank can find success. And Flamey falls as well. FaZe, they'll get that round. They take a fifth.
Yeah, really well played from Cold there as well, right? Like, not just the swing out Palace through the smoke, a very risky play, but one that needed to happen, and, you know, one that he could have lost as well, right? If he dies to Simple, if Simple realizes that's coming through and scopes up, Navi probably win the round, but Cold, he gets the kill, he clears the site, FaZe smoke Navi out, Cold hides, and you put it right, like, he just needs to stay alive. Nico is making the long rotation. He can be the first point of contact as long as Cold just hides and stalls out that first bomb tap. He wants Navi to get in as late as they possibly can. So good round from him and Nico. And now they've broken Navi for the first time. We have an eco on this CT side. Rain is going to get deemed, but he won't get finished off. Perfecto looking to do the job. We have FaZe hitting B, and this is the right round for it. Obviously, it's risky with Navi having potentially gamble stacked the B site. It's pretty common, but in this case, they didn't. And this eco round is the right round for FaZe to get rid of the pistols. They still have a dangerous one, though. 3-on-3 and low HP on Nico with Simple picking up an AK. If he chooses not to save, then FaZe have to be very careful, but that's a big kill.
This nade. Find even more damage onto these players in the bomb site. Electronic and Simple, the two players left, but these are the two players you would want. Simple, not ready for BMAS, still hidden inside. And Nico's going to swing on out. They just triple peek the last man. 6 on the board for FaZe. And yeah, that gets a little bit scary for a moment. They're able to come in swinging and lock down the site. That kill from Brokey on the AWP that turns it from a 3-on-3 into the 3-on-2 really does make all the difference there. You know, with everyone being kind of low, those Deagles were within like the one-shot kill range. So that almost gets out of hand. Simple's got this AWP back in play, and Flamey is also donning one in this round. He's taking it over towards Catwalk. There's a bit of ramp aggression from Boomich and co in this round. Brokey, missed shot, and quite the shot to miss. It's given up an early advantage to Navi.
The worst part about that is Boomich hit the Molotov, not Electronic, and so, you know, I think for Brokey there, he wants to peek a tighter angle. He thinks he knows where Boomich is, but he actually just never knows that he's even in that position. He only sees Electronic, and so it's not like he has info to give his team, double ramp setup, or even getting away with a kill. That really sucks for Brokey. And FaZe even followed up, dropping BMAS into the B bomb site, or the apartments rather, so huge advantages for Navi early on in this round. The two young guns for FaZe have been removed, and now it's up to the old guard. Electronic guarding the site. It's going to be Rain with a trade moving into A. Boomich jumping, and that is optimistic at best. Rain does not miss those shots, and now him and Cold have to convert this 2-on-5.
Oh, and it just got even harder. Simple nailing Rain, and here's the sad part is like, even though Cold has like a bit of room to maneuver there, and they get it down to that 2-on-3, the bomb was still back in top mid, and so for FaZe they needed to win a few of those gunfights and then, you know, look to get that bomb, and that just never happens. They're kind of, you know, up the creek without a paddle, as it were. Nice shots from Raid, and Boomich maybe being a bit optimistic there. That's what we'll call it.
He's a very aggressive player. Like, he makes a lot of risks, and sometimes, you know, it's similar to like art in a sense that you don't know the direct impact of the risk, but Navi win the round off of the back of it. So yeah, Boomich, he's an exciting player. We'll put it that way. Flamey, he's not excited by this B rush, and that overwhelmed. The gun dropped. Perfecto has to find something here. Electronics coming swinging, and he's found himself another. The AWP in the hands of Rain, but not the weapon he's used to playing, and he's tight. Does hit the shot through the wall. Now a chance for FaZe. He throws it over to Cold here, buddy. You try. I've got the bomb. So Rain, if he can try and plant, that'd be nice. But he doesn't want to rush it and get rushed down by Navi. They could be in the site, right? That smoke has provided a veil, an opportunity for Navi to get out the door, but they haven't taken it.
Oh, Simple. He's not waiting around. He's actually gone into the site out through the window. He hears this bomb going down, but he can't quite find the shot onto Rain, and this has given up the aim of the game for Simple. Rain's actually going to go on a bit of an aggressive mission of his own, and they're back to back. Oh, Rain in the backline, and Cold wins out the fight onto Boomich. That's a nice little round there from Rain and Cold inside of B. 7 on the board for FaZe, and as we approach the last round of this first half of play, we are all tied up. We wanted a close series, and that is exactly what we are getting delivered.
And as good as, you know, going B on an anti-eco is, well, so is going B on an eco. FaZe, they managed to get guns, and that's the danger with B-side players, right? If your anchor doesn't get like a double, 2 or 3 kills, and even though they do in that round, Electronic does a lot of work with Perfecto. FaZe, they just retrieve guns, and they sit back and wait, and having an AWP in the post pawn is so valuable when you're on an eco round like that. It can be the difference between just getting swept and taking the round away. So Navi are now broke in the last of the half, and this has gone from Navi being in control to FaZe likely winning out the half here. Navi are going to need to do a lot with not a lot. 2 Fanaces and pistols around it. FaZe have full control over the middle. It's not like Navi have the utility to contest. We've seen good flashes from them in the past, but right now, 1 left in this round. This is everything FaZe needed and more. They're going to group, and I think by the looks of things, try and split B. Navi are leaning A with 3, so this is the right call for FaZe.
Yeah, Perfecto is aggressive in the apps, and here's the thing, like, if Navi are able to get 1 kill on each of these B players, then maybe there's a chance, and Flamey's lived up to his side of the deal. However, Perfecto does get bested without a kill up in the apartment, so Navi are a man down in this retake. They're in a 3-on-4 at this B bomb site, and now with Brokey even recovering an AWP over here towards short side, he's picked that one up off the ground. He's looking over here at short, and there is Electronic coming his way. Boomich and Simple grouped up together over here in the market. Boomich creeping in, gonna catch Cold looking the wrong way. Nico now swings on out, deals with Simple, and follows up. So this leaves Electronic all alone, deals with the first man at Cat. Knows that Nico's at bench, but no duel is being offered up to him. With 9 bullets left, ammo is a bit of a problem for Electronic. He's got to nail these shots. BMAS just peeks on out from the apartments. FaZe, they just about win this first half out 8-7. But this series, this map is split as close as it can possibly get. Join us after a quick break to see the second half of play. Oh, hi there. Sorry, didn't see you come in. Yeah, so you've caught me in the middle of something here. It's a little thing called Navi versus FaZe. And FaZe, they're in the lead, but just about. For any numbers fans out there, you'll note that 8 isn't too much bigger than 7. And so, yeah, Hugo, there's that famous thing about 7 eating 9 or whatever it is. Let's see if Navi have got an appetite for this 8th round of their own. I don't know how those link together. It's kind of tenuous at best.
You've done well, Harry. You've done well. Yeah. Let's see if Navi can do better. They certainly need to. Still a good first half, right? This game has been very T-sided. Not this match, but just Counter-Strike, right? So I don't put it past Navi to be able to still call this one back. Boomich and connector fast. USPs are good, and they're double setup on the triple. Rain doesn't want to shoot his teammate in the face, so he will wrap around the site, dropping another under the balk with the bomb. And Rain has just made this one happen, as he often does in the pistol rounds. We talk about Perfecto. Well, here's Rain, and he's raining down death. It's 9 rounds up for FaZe. They will take a pistol round in this series. Well, Navi, they went 3-0 up on their CT side pistol before FaZe got around. Let's see if FaZe can do the same.
Oh, the flash is good as well. Boomich was full blind as he leaps across into mid. Boomich is like the play style of a gazelle. That's what he reminds me of. He just just kind of runs around, hopping, bounding, having a good time. But these hunters, man, they're out in full force on the FaZe side. And Cold is taking it to whole new extremes. Perfecto not gonna have the most perfect of rounds. He gets caught up in the apartments by BMAS, and so FaZe, they reach double digits, 10-7 now. And Navi, they ecoed in that once. They've got the buy coming. They're feeling good. Well, maybe they're not. I don't really know. I don't really have like the read there. I'm just guessing.
Well, let's hope they're feeling good, Happy. Well wishes to both rosters as we get into this rifle round. This is a crucial one. Simple's got no util, and it's going to be a faster play towards the B site. Electronic trying to lurk up Catwalk, but he's being watched by Nico and Con. Good grenades. Perfecto's getting bullied a bit. He is having a rough game right now. BMAS pushed up. Perfecto. Oh, the flash is good. That's so nice from FaZe. Off of BMAS. No! Leave him alone! He's churning them up.
Oh,
the pistol's out, and BMAS is just making Navi look like fools in the apartments. That's excellent. BMAS clinging to the right wall, not getting spotted by the swing. The flash hits the perfect timing. Couldn't have it any other way. Yeah, I'd pause after that one too, Navi.
Yeah, I don't even, like, you can't even imagine what's being said here.
Yeah.
That pause comes in, and then you just hear a lengthy old sigh. All right, guys. So what went wrong there? What happened?
Yeah, I want to know. FaZe had a deep app smoke. Navi wanted to go quick towards B. That's why they pushed through it, right? Think of Electronic. He's up Cat very quickly in that round. The idea is pace for Navi, and that's why they felt the need to go through the smoke. I wonder if that was a smoke thrown from Car, or more likely, the one that you can throw out of CT Spawn that lands deep in B. It beats the T's to it and lands in that exact position. So if FaZe threw that, Navi might have looked at it and gone, FaZe aren't going to go deep with this. They just threw the smoke from Spawn. And that's probably the thought process there from Navi. But boy, oh boy, did they not hit the nail on the head. I think the hammer was in the other hand.
Oh, good timing for Electronic and awful timing for Nico. You know, your heart goes out to him. We've all been there. You're the con guy. You're checking top mid. You're checking lower. And the moment you look away from lower tunnels, guess where you get shot from? Lower tunnels. Yeah, there you go. You're catching on, Hugo.
Wow.
You've certainly played a game of CS or two in your time.
Do you say that? Most importantly, it's a gun. I wonder if Electronic would take it, because he is the only armored player in middle. Simple is very far away. But Electronic, oh, he's not in middle. He's in T-spawn with the bomb. He's up and left this place, giving it to Perfecto. No one's lurking mid for Navi. A bit of a danger. I would have loved to see someone stay connected, even if you don't use them, you know, before the push with your team. Just coming in late, coming in on a timing when the site players are distracted can be so valuable. So, yes, it's interesting for Navi. I'd like to see how it goes, but no utility. They should just be walking into gunfire.
Yeah, that Molly splits the push as well, and it forces two of these players forward. The flash is very well timed from Brokey, but Simple and Flamey, they found kills in a matter of moments. They catch Flamey crossing into the site, and this is where, you know, not having any utility, having a mid player would have helped so much, because suddenly you've got someone to help out with these COD players, but that never happens. FaZe are going to take that 12th. And yeah, Hugo, I mean, I hate agreeing with you. It's not something I do a lot, but on this instance, I got to agree. I think if you've got even one smoke in this round, I think you can justify having all 5 players coming from Ramp and Palace, but you don't if you're Navi. And so that means that when it comes down to having a cross into the site, you're going to have a very, very rough time even surviving the journey. And well, what do you know? They didn't survive the journey. Yeah,
worth noting, Cold and BMAS, they come from con from short to con to A there, right? They rotate jungle side. So if you have a mid player hiding bench, not even like flanking, just hiding bench, hiding lower mid, they're going to hear those rotations, and they're going to probably stop those rotations as well. So yeah, I don't know, weird one. It's only an eco though, so you don't need to look at it too deeply. Navi just wanted to play that trade game, and they did get some good entries up on that A site. Unfortunately, all in vain. Simple's back on the AWP. This is something we've been waiting to see, but we've got 2 in the hands of FaZe now. Nico's donned one behind Brokey towards the connector. We've got a solo B setup. BMAS on his own, that's a tough task, but he has looked good so far today. I will say for BMAS, it feels like for a young player, I never see him overfacing. I never see him committing to something that he shouldn't, and he seems to know when he can get away with things. Now on the site alone, he's getting dealt a fast play, Boomich with a trade. BMAS can't get more than one, and FaZe, oh damn, are they just going to save? They set up so ready for an A execute. They had 4 players in the site, and they are too far away to even consider this one. It's going to be a 4-man save for FaZe. That is not what they wanted. A gamble stack going the wrong way. If BMAS gets 2, FaZe go for it. But unfortunately, 1, Harry. 1 is not 2.
No, critically, it's not, right? And imagine the chaos if it were. You know, you think so many of our systems, man, are built around the idea of 1 being 1, 0 being 0. And that combination of numbers being other things.
I think you should quit while you're behind, Harry.
That is the old saying, you know, quit while you're behind before you fall even further behind.
That may be the case for FaZe, or for Navi, rather. Sorry, what did you want to say, Harry? Take it away.
Wow, thanks, man. I mean, this is a lot of pressure to put on me. But right now, if I had to say anything, I'd say that Navi, they're still in with a chance of pulling this game back, right? There's 4 rounds between them and FaZe, and we're getting a good performance still out of Simple and Electronic. Flamey's up there as well. Want to see a little bit more from Perfecto. We were singing his praises coming into this series, and he has been struggling. It's been a pretty slow start from him. And for Nico and Brokey, this double AWP setup that's ringing on out finds 2 kills out of the gate. So that is huge for FaZe. They put this double AWP save to good use.
Yeah, the reason we see that, okay, so think about how when a team will pause and they'll go on like 2 or 3 pauses and then they'll B-rush. FaZe just did the reverse of that on the CT side. They know that Navi have gone over their game plan. They know that Navi have figured out what they want to do, and Navi aren't going to be expecting an aggressive FaZe. So you have 1 player push Palace with an AWP, you have 1 player push under from Connector with an AWP, and Navi lose 2 players in positions that they think they're safe in. They think, they just got to, and FaZe will take them down. So whatever game plan Navi have for this round gets completely uprooted in the opening 10 seconds. Now Navi just have to kind of pug and trade their way back into A. It's not a good situation, and it's a great call from FaZe to throw in those 2 aggressive AWPs. Both of them getting kills as well is something that I don't think even FaZe would have expected, but they will be more than happy sitting back and waiting for Navi to come their way.
Ooh, Simple's gonna win that. He's further from the angle, so he gets the spot first. Cold now, burnt out of jungle, but they haven't checked for it, and Cold's is gonna take 1 down before his time draws to a close. Now Rain down here at ramp, trying to be a little bit cheeky. There's also a man going by the name of Nico, who we know a thing or two about. He's back here in CT, and he's dealt with Perfecto on the push. Boomich is now all alone, and Rain coming out from ramp is a little nasty surprise. FaZe 13 on the board, and reinvestment through for Navi. They're going to be able to buy back up into this round. However, this double AWP presence, it's really showing its value for FaZe out of the gate. And now what's the Navi game plan to try and deal with it, right? You get the information that there's 2 AWPs in play, and that at least gives you a little bit more info to work with. That was like your first time running into it for Navi. Oh, that's a lot of damage from Nico in through the mid smoke. And he's not done with that little bit of chip damage. He's still here. Goes blow for blow with Electronic, and Nico's come out massively favored here. He's brought 2 players down to the one-shot kill realm. Cold's got aggressive into the apartments, and Perfecto baits the shot out of him. But Apps is under lock and key right now for FaZe. They're even sending BMAS aggressive. And this is great for FaZe, because once BMAS gets this aggressive position in the apartments, we've seen what he can do from here already. It also allows this AWP of Cold to take up a position elsewhere, and he doesn't even really have to still be at this B bomb site. He holds down short for a little bit because FaZe haven't had any mid info for a while. But eventually, once this mid smoke fades, I imagine we're going to see Nico take a little peek just to see if there's any players here. And if he gets the info that that's not the case, we could even see Cold begin an early rotation out of that B bomb site.
Yeah, this is the value of having such strong AWPers on FaZe Clan, right? Nico doesn't need to change position, but he can give the AWP to Cold, and you can keep your same setup while having, the AWP rotate around the map. So Cold's on B, he's too far away, but here's the triple play from FaZe. Nice entry. Flamey's so good at finding kills out the Palace, but Nico responds from CT spawn. His teammate blocked in to the corner, and now Nico is too, trapped by the flames. Oh no, they're going to spread, and he's so blind, Harry. He couldn't even see if he wanted to get away. And well, Nico, in the final seconds of that Molotov, will perish and give Navi a round. Nice A execute, and I agree with you. Yeah, I would have loved to see that gamble from FaZe Clan moving Cold to A. The reason I think it's weird that FaZe don't do that is, like you said, Nico is going to spot mid in that, midpoint when Navi was setting up the A play. Nico gets flashed in from CT, he sees mid, he jumps under, he sees nothing. He doesn't see a single player. Yet Cold is still in B watching short. But FaZe have the info that short is covered and clear. And even though Nico leaves that position, I definitely feel like a rotate would have made all the difference there. On the other side of the page, right? Cold probably doesn't want to do that, because think about how last time FaZe set up 4 on A with BMAS solo B, and BMAS gets 1 kill, and then FaZe have to save because BMAS only gets 1 kill, right? FaZe don't want that to happen again. They don't want to get faked out, and so you can see why they don't go for it, but it does cost them the round once again. Nice spam from Electronic as well through CT. And yeah, Navi, like you said, don't count them out. While being down in this scoreline, they are certainly able to get back in control here. So work cut out for Navi right now. FaZe up to 13, still with money to fall back on here after that save.
Oh dear. Right, so here's something for you folks watching at home. If this little, and you probably know this, but if this little timer appears at the top and there's no color ticking away in it, then that means it's a tech pause. And what do we all know about tech pauses? Well, they crop up every now and again, and they're never fun. So we're going to wait and see what's going on and who's got the problem. Hopefully it shouldn't take too long to resolve.
It was ping issues earlier prior to the game, so maybe... Oh, it was crashed this time. Okay, cool. That's at least better. That at least means hopefully we'll be able to just restart and get back in. But
who's the unlucky camper that's crashed from the game?
You want to call them out, Harry?
Electronic is the man to take a quick exit.
Top of his team right now. Yeah, Perfecto really is struggling though, man. He's had 1 kill in this half so far, and that's it. So hoping for a little bit more from him moving into some of these rounds. Obviously, Navi can use that to their advantage in the sense of sending him out first and trading him. But I mean, look at that round. Flamey just swings at Palace and gets the openers. So Navi, it's not that they had problems entering. It's more about keeping their players alive. FaZe have been very good at forcing engagements that Navi don't want and taking positions that Navi aren't expecting. Let's see if, once again, Harry, last time we had this long pause, FaZe, they peaked Palace with an AWP, they peaked Under with an AWP, and they started the round 5-on-3. Will Navi let that happen again, or will FaZe even decide to go aggressive?
Yeah, it's a pretty standard, like, default out of spawn from FaZe. They just send Brokey into the window. They've got a short and a comm player to help out in mid. And so it's not going to be any of these fast pushes out of the gate. Nico going to try and take an aggressive stance over here in mid, and he's able to deal with Electronic. But as he looks to get out of there, that's when a guy called Perfecto also swings out through those lower tunnels and gets rid of Nico. So we're into a 4-on-4 immediately, and this is going to benefit Navi for the time being. Simple. He was waiting the entire time for that peak, and he gets it. And while his bullet only tags Brokey for 49, by the way, that's not even like a significant amount of damage. Brokey's will annihilate Simple. So
I think Simple moved his mouse just a little bit, like a little bit left or right into the wall. You know, maybe the peak caught him off guard. Maybe he wasn't ready for it that early. But that's, you know, not a consistent thing to see Simple caught off guard like that.
Look at it. Even the way his body's falling, it's all just a very sad tale. Simple's gone, and now this round, with Simple and Electronic both removed, falls to the rest of Navi to try and make a difference. Brokey's taken down another. His hold of this B site has been stellar, and then he's got Cold over at short to swing on in and help him as they try and close the distance. Speaking of closing the distance, that's exactly what FaZe are doing. They're approaching map point here on their map pig.
Yeah, you see
so I tell you what, man.
Classic Simple shake.
We've seen just seeing it back. I don't know how, regardless of Simple, even if he did tag through the wall, I don't know how Brokey's was a guaranteed killing blow and Simple's did so little damage.
Well, Brokey wouldn't have wallbanged him. In order for that damage to happen, Simple had to wallbang him, and Brokey just hit the shot, right? Like,
but Brokey's was a wallbang. It even said in the kill feed.
Was it? Okay. Now I'm done, Harry. Now I'm out of answers. I guess he just clipped him through the corner. Simple shot him through a larger part of the wall. I don't know, man. Nothing makes sense.
Yeah.
But this is a great game from FaZe, right? Like, of course, Navi are getting outplayed in a lot of these rounds, and as the analyst said, this best of 3, these maps, they favor FaZe significantly. So there's a world where we have a 2-0 for FaZe Clan, as crazy as that may seem. But you can see Navi don't want to let go of the baton. Electronic with another entry out of Palace, and we have Flamey and Simple coming through the ramp. It's going to be FaZe saving here on the B-bomb site. Nothing to do with this round, and you can already see Perfecto is hunting. I like this, right? Moving out of this position and going elsewhere, trying to catch FaZe, get aggressive. He certainly might come into contact with them here in the halls, but is he ready for both?
Ooh. He gets the information that a second man is here. And look at this, man. Navi, now they know. They're like, well, BMAS isn't going for it, is he? He's trying to save. And we know where he is. Ooh, we want this kill. And Simple. He's waiting. Look at it. He's waiting. There we go. BMAS is going to give it over. Simple with 2 in the round. Navi 10 on the board as they keep their dream alive here. They don't give over that match point to FaZe. And with that round going their way, they've put this CT money in a bit of an awkward spot. There's some players with lots of cash, and there's others with not very much. Oh, and Navi going to call in the pause as well.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to ascertain the money, trying to figure out what FaZe have, because remember, that was attempted to be a save for FaZe that would have allowed a buy, but they get out with no one alive, so... Yeah, I mean, FaZe, they could use this pause too, but it is going to be only an eco, and Navi have no problem with that. Another essentially free round, hopefully, for Navi to deal with. See Nico wins though. And yeah, I mean this game heating up. You know, when we've seen this game before, we've had it I think 4 times so far in 2020, and all 4 times it's gone 3 maps, and all 4 times Navi have won in the 3rd map. So it's often FaZe actually winning the opening map of the series and then losing the series. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. But we'll see if today is a different story for FaZe. Right now, they are holding a lead on their pick. Only by 4. Simple's moving very fast on Cat 2. Oh, dear.
And I hope that what we keep seeing from Navi is what we're seeing right now, which is just this kind of 4 players grouped up, leaving one man in this lurk role, which I think a lot of the time it's maybe fair to put that onto Perfecto. He's not having like the best of games, as we've kind of said, and that's usually where we can find him, like, you know, apart from the rest of the pack. And I think one of the benefits to this is that with FaZe consistently running this double orb setup, or I say consistently, like whenever they can, they're trying to run the double orb setup. It's been great at picking players out of this early Navi default whenever they've split their forces up between either site. And I think where it does have its limitations is when these fast executes come in towards bomb sites with, you know, 4 or 5 players from Navi all in the same spot. If you're able to best the players in the site, then you know that there's going to be an AWP left in the retake in some, you know, like 2v3, 2vx scenario. And that's exactly what you want to be doing if you're Navi. You want to kind of force FaZe to keep holding on to these AWPs. And so I like that, you know, even if you think back to the round prior to this one, as to how Navi have kind of kickstarted this little mini comeback later in the game, it was just on the back of an A-side execute. And, you know, these are easy decisions for Navi to make. They're easy things to do, just these set pieces. And I think they're going to give you some pretty good results against the double off the FaZe, because where it's really looked strong is where you've had players like, you know, Nico's taking those peaks over towards mid, or Cold donning it right with the apps peaks. Brokey even having his time to shine over there every now and again, just switching it up. But the AWPs have been good at delivering these early kills. Whenever we've seen Navi spread out and try and take an early default, they just haven't been able to get these openers in the same way that FaZe have. And this round, FaZe actually don't go for the double AWP setup. They've only got one on Brokey.
Yeah, I think it's a good change, right? You know, the double AWPs, they worked, but now Navi know what you're doing, and so a bit of a switch up for FaZe Clan, where they still actually have the weapon available. Brokey's actually going to move to CT as well, so we got some changes here for FaZe Clan. It's nice to see BMAS alone on B again. Has been a problem in the past, but also both ways, right? We've seen FaZe overstack the site. So Cold is actually assisting middle. I like this change, as he can rotate very fast to B, as BMAS has the information ahead of time because of his position at car. So BMAS can call for Cold, he can be let off the leash and can run right back and help if needed. But right now, what's needed is FaZe to deal with this mid control. Navi are all over it. That Molly's going to push Cold down the ladder, but he's actually moved just preemptively, just before it. Good escape. Oh dear, there's another Molotov, and Cold is playing with fire and behind the smoke. It's going to fade in the next 10 seconds, so he needs to get out of there alive. And Brokey walking into a setup where they're looking at him. Nice shot. Still on this A site now. This split for Navi's getting caught out. Flamey, if he can find a kill here, it can make all the difference.
Yeah, Brokey is back though, looking over into the palace with this AWP from CT, and Navi are going to start to work catwalk now to get into B. You got to get past Cold Zera, and Simple will deliver that kill, but Navi are going to head back into the A site, and this is where 2 players reside for FaZe.
Brokey waiting 20 seconds. Navi have got to go soon. They like these late rounds, but they got to clear Rain. That's a big kill for Flamey. He's nailed that every time he's gone for it. Brokey will trade, and now he needs the wallbang shot if he wants to win this round here and now. He can't get it. Simple with the plant and the jump. You don't want to do that against Simple. You will get caught out. Brokey needs to wait for his teammate for the jump again. He's trying to get info, and he does get it, but it might come at a cost. Now BMAS moving forward. Brokey supporting from behind, and BMAS has nailed them. Both of them going down for Navi. It's FaZe with a 2-on-2 retake against Simple and Electronic. Great work. And that's FaZe on map point on their pick here as well, Harry. Saving the double AWP also. Navi counting their lucky stars, they still have economy left.
It's a nice feel-good round as well for Brokey and BMAS, right? Like a hot up-and-coming duo taking on the well, one of the best duos in Counter-Strike history in Simple and Electronic. Cold's been throwing this secondary AWP, gets over onto short side now. Navi, they're setting up in the apartments. B-Master's here alone, but he's got Brokey on the rotation. Molly's going to find some good damage, and B-Master's repositioning. The Cole gets caught. B-Master's got to have a bit of a stand here, and he's getting pressured. Wow. Oh, does he answer the call? He's going to put up 3. And now it's Simple and Boomich left to try and turn the tide. 2 on 4. Brokey here as well. And once again, it's B-Master and Brokey holding down this round for FaZe, and they just might find the map on the back of it. You've got to get past Simple and B-Master. Well, 4 in the round for him, 1 for Brokey. And FaZe, they'll pick up Mirage.
That was pretty damn good for FaZe, man. Like a very competitive first half, but we move over to that CT side. FaZe, they storm the board, they take 4 at the start of the half, and then they just trade rounds out between Navi, right? Navi only get 1 instance of 2 rounds in a row in that second half. So yeah, FaZe, man, in control. The double AWP looked good. B-Mass is performing, which he had troubles with the other day, and I think everything's looking right now for FaZe. I'm a little worried with this series because with Dust 2 coming up next, that's being Navi's pick, of course. We always talk about Dust 2 being a really dangerous map for a team to pick into. G2 are a great example, right? Next to tweeting about how they only win the map when an opponent picks it against them and they steal it away. So it's a map that everyone knows how to play, and I think that could come back to haunt Navi. I don't know, Harry, what are you thinking? Is this going all 3?
I hope it does, because we've seen a good level from both of these squads, and I hope this is one of these series where they both pick up their map. But I agree, man, Dust 2 is always a scary one, right, when you're the team picking into it. That said, this duo of Simple and Electronic, it's delivering exactly what we want. So this series maybe still has some legs on it. You're going to have to join us after a quick break to catch the remainder of it. We'll be back in just a moment.